Thumbs up.
Yes.
Tyler for mayor.
Yay.
Got a unity clap.
Yes.
Victory on three. One, 2, 3.
Victory! Well, they said all that needed to be said, so I think we can go. No, seriously, thank you, Bill, for the warm introduction. Thank you to all the speakers that introduced. I actually just want to go through them real quick and share why I appreciate them a little bit more. So I want to start with Alan, my colleague on the council. Councilmember Hoffa was the only elected in the city that supported me when I was running for council in 2018. So I appreciate your mentorship and your support when I was running 4 years ago. And I appreciate your partnership on the issues that you talked about, transparency and housing affordability. So thank you for that partnership. Who is next? Kim. Where are you at, Kim?
Right here.
Kim. First, everybody, let's give it up to Kim Barber as our next city council member. When Kim and I met through work done at CSUMB, we both knew instantly that we both cared passionately about creating a sustainable community so that we can not just have a great place to live now, but we make a positive impact for future generations where they can thrive. So thank you, Kim, for your partnership, and I really look forward to working with you on the council.
Thank you.
And then we had George. George, Monterey Peninsula Water Management District Director, just got elected in 2020. I appreciate you, George, because of your community activism. You're working on things that we can't walk around, the divisions that are created amongst these types of issues. There's no walking around that. And you hit those things straight on, you speak from your values, and you fight for what you think is right. And you do that by engaging the community. So I really appreciate all the work that you're doing, and thanks for being here today. And then California State Senate Majority Leader Emeritus Bill Monning, thank you so much for being here and sharing those words. I want to share a little bit of a story about my relationship with Bill. So I used to be part of the union. I'm in a position now where I'm not eligible to be part of the union, but during Bill's time in the Senate, he would invite the unions to come together once a year at the IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers up in Castroville. And we would come together and he would create a space for all of us to go around the room and share what's on our hearts and minds. And then he would take the floor and he would share with us what was going on in Sacramento and tell us the work that he's doing to fight for us every single day. And then he would end these events by doing a little bit of a call and response with Si Se Puede, which is always motivating and inspiring for me. It's classic Bill, so I appreciate you for that. But I appreciate you because you're motivating, you're inspiring, you're inspirational, you're dedicated and committed to the work. You do the work that people voted you to do, and I appreciate that leadership and that representation for me to follow in your footsteps. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'm honored to have your support in my bid for being the next mayor of Monterey. So I want to segue here, and I know you all are supporters, so I want to feed you all the things that we've achieved over the last 4 years since I've been on the council. So I want to start off with water. One of the things that I talked about in my campaign in 2018 was looking at any available city property that we can look at doing affordable housing development. Well, last month, the council unanimously passed a 100% affordable housing project that's looking with Mid-Penn Fair Housing. They're a nonprofit housing developer. 36 units right here behind City Hall, 100% affordable housing. We passed that exclusive negotiating agreement just last month, and I'm excited to see what happens with that project. Another thing that I pushed for when I was running in 2018 was to look at removing those barriers that exist, that red tape that exists, that prevents developers from coming in and doing their job, which also actually adds to the high cost of housing. So I'll give you an example of what that looked like since being on the council. I championed a policy that looked at updating the lighthouse and the downtown specific plans so that we can add more residential units on the first floor. So these are mixed use zones, and there's a general policy where we don't allow for residential units on the first floor. By getting some more units in there, it allows affordable housing projects to be more affordable and creates more units within the city of Monterey. Another thing was during the eviction, at the height of the eviction, I brought to the council an eviction moratorium because I wanted to make sure that our renters didn't become unhoused and be more at risk of catching COVID-19. In addition to that, the council supported an emergency rental assistance program so that we also ensured that landlords receive their rent. I could go on and on about the housing piece, but I think you all get the point. We need to continue doing the work to make sure that we're providing housing for people that work and live in the city of Monterey. So next I want to get to water. When in 2018, also on the ballot at the time was Measure J, which the will of the voters was passed. So I was glad to support that in my election in 2018. Also on the water piece, I represent the city of Monterey on Monterey One Water. It's our region's wastewater and recycled water treatment facility. I championed the expansion of Pure Water Monterey, which what Pure Monterey is it takes our water and recycles it with an advanced purification process, and it provides us clean, safe, and sustainable water supply in Monterey. So the base project, which is already complete, has provided an additional 3,500 acre feet of water. And the expansion, once developed, will provide an additional 2,250 acre feet of water. Monterey One Water is the only organization, public or private, that has added substantially to our water supply in the last several decades. Transparency. So a big thing that I talked about when I was running in 2018 was looking at what we talk about in closed session. I want to make sure that we are being as transparent as possible. And so I brought an agenda item to the council. The council unanimously supported directing staff to evaluate our process and how we can make information more available in regards to property negotiations. So staff did that. And now you can look at our open session agenda. There's closed session reports that you can look at, and you can get additional context and background around these property negotiation discussions that we're having and making decisions on behind closed doors. I also ran on creating campaign contribution limits. When I was running in 2018, you can donate unlimited amounts of contributions to me. Now the limits are set at $520. And yes, we are accepting campaign contributions. But seriously, even $25 can go a long way towards this people-driven campaign. So I'd appreciate anything that you can do to help make this campaign run and function. Next, I want to get to a really exciting policy, which, if you guys are ready for this, the budget. Seriously, I would argue that the budget is the single most important issue that we work on the city council. The budget, I feel, in the city of Monterey has fallen short of setting enough funds aside to make sure that we can sustain our city services, our facilities, our infrastructure, and addressing our pension liability. When I was running for council in 2018, and even during my first term on the council, I kept saying to folks, we need to stop kicking the can down the road. We need to make sure that we're paying for the services that we have today and not overburdening that on future generations. So let's be stewards of our community and let's do our part. So people ask why I settled down in Monterey. Why did I choose Monterey? Just real quick, I would say, my mom served in the Navy for 20 years. I never lived anywhere for more than 4 years my entire life. And so I did choose Monterey because out of all the beautiful places that you can live in the world, our little slice of paradise here has all the ingredients that it needs. Museums, history, culture, the parks and recreation. People come from around the region to take advantage of our services that we have here in the city of Monterey. And those are all of the things that feed into making a great long-term sustainable community. So it's such an honor to be able to be on the council here. And so that leads me to why I'm running for mayor. I'm running for mayor to move Monterey forward and to get things done. And so I want to describe to you a little bit of my platform, which very much replicates my platform from 2018. And nothing about this platform is dramatic or crazy. It's about using what we have and enhancing it and making it better. So I think we can continue moving Monterey forward by continuing to get rid of some of that red tape. Let's get some housing developed in the city of Monterey. I think we can continue moving Monterey forward by seeing Pure Water Monterey expansions through to completion. And that's not going to happen unless we have leadership that's thinking about the public today and long-term into the future. I think we can continue to move Monterey forward by continuing to engage the public on community engagement. Groups like the Neighborhood and Community Improvement Program. I think we can engage with these groups so that we can think about how do we enhance civic engagement in our community, because that's essential in order for us to make the best policy decisions in our community. And I think we can broaden the folks that are interested in joining our city's commissions, committees, and boards. And I think we can continue moving Monterey forward by being community stewards and making sure that we're paying for the needs of today and not kicking the can down the road and putting that burden on future generations, which we know the cost of goods are only going to continue to rise. So that is why I'm running for mayor. I'm here to get things done. I appreciate you all so much for being here. Now let's go move Monterey forward. Thank you, guys.
I want to get a group picture.
So real quick, I just want to do a couple more thank yous. And then I want to talk about what next steps look like. So I want to thank my volunteers. Gabe, you're back there somewhere. He's working, of course. He's not even paying attention. Gabe. We have Esther here that's been doing a lot of work in the campaign. We have Jason managing the finances. He's a champ. He's the money guy. The guy with the hat. If you want to write a check, go see Jason. I also got to give some credit to Kim too. Kim and I have been working behind the scenes to try to figure out what does a vision look like as we move forward in the city of Monterey, and I'm so proud to have you as a partner in working on these things. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody here. Tyler is also on the team. Tyler Barola. He spells his name wrong only with one L. He's not here today because he was feeling a little bit under the weather, so I appreciate him too. And then I also want to give some love. Look at, he's working right now. My partner, Ivan Bautista. Honestly, he deserves the most credit because I work a full-time day job and then I get off of work and I don't even come home. I'm going to my next meeting and sometimes he doesn't see me until the next morning because he's probably already in bed. So I appreciate you so much, Ivan and Sasha. Okay, I think that's thank yous. Oh, and I want to give a thank you to the younger generation that's here. Seriously, this is why I'm doing this, because we need to create a long-term sustainable community for our future generations. We need to show them what that looks like. And if we don't set them up for success, we're going to be setting them up for failure. So I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you so much. Okay, one last thing, and then we're going to take a group shot. So we're going to get this campaign going right away. This is the kickoff. This campaign is people-powered. Like Bill said, we need to go out and talk to people. So as much of you as possible, if you can spare some time, we're going to go out. I'm going to go out and start knocking on some doors right now. Let's go out there and start having those conversations with community members, because that's what we have to do to win this election. I have a solid strategy to win this election, and it's going to happen by doing this. So I appreciate everybody that's able and willing. What I'm going to ask you all is to think about your stories of why you're supporting me. Use that story to describe to folks why you're supporting me, because that's going to help them build that bridge to come help and be on Team Tyler. So use that story. Even if you're not going to be staying today to canvass, I still encourage you to think about what that story looks like and try to have as many conversations with Monterey residents and voters as possible.